All right, welcome back. Getting organized. Hang on, microphone. There we go. Okay. Boy, this is floppy. I don't know. We'll see how this goes. Okay. Welcome back, everybody. Sunday afternoon. Yeah. Welcome back to the stream. I'm Angela, software engineer in St. Paul, Minnesota, front-end developer. Everything HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. We are picking up where we left off yesterday with this layout for, it's called Delta. Where is my Photoshop mockup? It's called Delta, and this is a masonry layout, soon to be portfolio website for yours truly. Let's see here. This is the Photoshop mockup that I had in my collection. And then there were a couple examples of navigation, which we worked on yesterday afternoon, and search, which we also worked on yesterday afternoon. So we have these drawers. We have the markup and the CSS written for this. Today I just want to get some event listeners in so we can do our click events. So let's take a look at our handiwork from yesterday. Let's see here in the header. So here's the search drawer. We put in a class of active. There it is. Beautiful. I love it when CSS does all of the work. And then you can see here that we have this X, which we're going to have to move around a little bit. What I'm hoping is that that X can control the navigation and the search drawer. I don't know if that makes sense quite yet. Here's our navigation. Also love. So I think probably the first thing we should do is, because we don't have it here on the navigation, we don't have that X. So the search close button is inside the search drawer container. I'm going to pull that out, and I'm thinking about where I want to put that. This is the search icon. So we've got, okay, so we've got the search icon, the search drawer, the menu icon, and the navigation drawer. I think it makes sense to take the close button out of the search drawer and put it after everything else. So after the navigation. I think that makes sense in my mind. Yeah, so that's what I'm going to do. All right, so let us, what did I do here? Before we do that, I did push my code yesterday afternoon, but I did not deploy to Heroku. So let's maybe do that. I think I have a couple of things happening here. Git add. Okay, let's get situated here. Git add, git commit. Okay, hang on, I can't see. All right, I think that's better. Git commit. I honestly am not sure what these are. Jesus, Angela, just do it. Updating commits. It's the best I got. Git push, origin, main. And we'll go to Heroku and we'll deploy this. Excellent. Start navigation. I don't know if you can hear that in the background. That's my dog Heidi. She's looking out the window and barking, probably at another dog. Okay, so we have everything deployed. Did I add this to the Git repo? Don't remember. I did. Okay, good. Well, everything's up to date then. But I'm going to go back to... We are going to be borrowing some JavaScript from the first thing that we worked on, which is this, the Soho layout that we did. So... Probably, I know it's not the you are here because we're not doing that type of navigation. Toggle active on click. We've got menu and we've got search. So I think we can use this function. I'm not sure though, because I have one button that I want to... I'm going to get my markup in there and then I'm going to ask ChatGPT for a little bit of help, because this is not, this is different than what we did in Soho. Soho, we used the same button to open and close the drawers. For Delta, we're using, although we do have on the search drawer, on the search drawer, you will not see the button that you clicked to open the drawer, but on the menu, you will see the button. So we just have to make sure it toggles. That's really what we have to make sure it does. So we may reuse this. I'm not quite sure. Okay, let's go back to our local environment. And Abdallah from Egypt is here. I have a surprise. See if you can see what it is. I got the comments working. Hang on, let me remove my... I'll go back to the desktop. What do you think? I got the comments working. I'm so excited. It took me the better part of the afternoon to figure out how to do this. And hopefully I can recreate this in future streams. So I'm excited to be able to have comments now on the screen. So welcome, Abdallah. Happy to have you here. And yeah, I'm excited to get some JavaScript written today so we can get these click events in. All right, let's go back. Here we go. Look at that. So fancy. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and add this, we're going to move this close button, and then, yes, let's go. Agreed. Whoops. There we go. It's a little buggy. It's not really, it feels, so I use OBS for streaming, and I mean, it's open source software. It's great. I love it. But it doesn't have all the stuff that StreamYard has or some of the other things out there. So everything feels like a little tiny bit of a hack sometimes. So agreed. I think the comments on screen are also very, very cool. I watch a lot of live streaming, and I think that's one of the best. I mean, it depends on what I'm watching. Sometimes it's one of the coolest parts of a live stream, and other times I'm like, oh God, stop with the comments. So just get to the point. So, but I do really like having it. I think it looks pretty cool. So, all righty. So I'm going to take this button for closing things, and I'm going to move it after the navigation. I'm going to have it be basically the last thing in this list. And we're going to have to restyle some things here. And then I think we're pretty much going to be, we're going to be doing a lot of JavaScript, I think, here for the rest of the day. And also that focus trapping. So let's see here. No, we need this. Yeah. Okay. So here's our button. And I'm just going to say, I'm going to rename this drawer close. Drawer close. And I'm just going to call this drawer close. And I'm going to take out this nested class. And do we need it? Do we need anything else? I guess technically it's inside the inner wrap. I don't think we need anything else. So this is absolute positioning. Let's see. Yep. So, okay. So that's fine. It's showing up here. We probably only want it to be display block when there's an active class. So this drawer, we'll put an active class on this drawer. And then I'm going to do display none. And then we'll do and active display block. Actually, I'm going to take, yeah, I guess that's okay. No, I'm going to take this out. Okay, let's see here, drawer close. Why are you still here? Drawer close, display none. Oh, Angela, you don't have your Sasquatch running. There we go. Okay. There it is. Okay. So if it's active and if this is also active, okay. And then if this is also active, and then we want the search drawer to always be on top. So this would have, I'm going to give this a Z index of, I guess, 3. And then I'll give this a Z index of 2. Yeah, and then the drawer close also always has a Z index of 3. Okay. So this will have a Z index of 2, and the search drawer, where are you? Will have a Z index of 2. Okay, so so we want to make sure, let's make this a little bigger here. So see, this makes me think that I should just make sure I'm always covering up those icons if this is open. Yeah. I mean, it doesn't, so you can barely see like me personally or see the stream? Oh, you're just on your mobile device, so it's super tiny. Gotcha. Well, I'm sorry to hear that, but I'm glad that you're here. I'm glad that you're still here hanging out with me. So, um, you'll just have to enjoy the sound of my voice. How does that sound? As crazy as that is for me to say out loud, thank you for being here. And it'll be here. The video will be here after we're done today. So you'll be able to go back and watch it if you want to get caught up on the actual coding part of it. And of course, it's always on GitHub if you want to fork it or use it for yourself. So. I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to copy all of this and ask ChatGPT for some help. Oh, stop. Button. Hang on, I think I have some of my markup wrong. So here's a button. Here's, oh no, that's right. Please help me. So please help me with a JavaScript add event listener to open and close the search drawer and the navigation drawer. There is one button called drawer close that should close both drawers. The event listener should add the active class to, so it should add the active class to, I'm going to say all three buttons and their respective drawers. Should toggle the active class. Don't know if I'm asking this question correctly. Okay, so we've got search button, menu button, search drawer, navigation drawer, close button. So far, so good. Function to toggle the class, drawer class list toggle active, event listeners to open, search, and navigation drawers. Got it. Event listener to close both drawers. See, this is so much simpler than I think if I was doing this myself. JavaScript just does not come naturally to me at this point. I mean, some things do, some things don't. Okay. Let's see how this goes. Oh, where's our X though? Let's see here. Where are you? So that works. So this is a great question. I'm not sure what that arrow is for because I got it from this, I got the idea to do that from this PSD, and there was nothing in any of the other Photoshop documents to indicate anything about what I should be doing with that arrow. So I had an idea that I would just put in a separate search drawer that would just be like a little flyout about me section. That's what I was planning to do. No indication whatsoever of what I should be doing with that, but it was in the Photoshop document, so I put it in and I thought, hey, I'll figure out what to do later on. So, and then Abdallah's asking me, when you type in ChatGPT, which button do you click to create a new line? I hold down the shift key and I hit return. That's how I do that. So that's basically my way of doing a return or a new line break without actually doing a carriage return. So yeah, shift enter. Let's see here. So we also need to make sure that we are adding an active class to the close button. Let's see here. Oh. Closing both drawers. Make sure the CSS for the drawers is set to hide them by default unless the active class is added for, yeah, I'm already doing this. I also need to toggle the active class. Although, do I need to toggle the active class if I don't think I need to toggle if I have I think what I can do instead to display that button, I can just use an active class from another one. If there's anything active, because it's a sibling element, if anything previous is active, we can just hide or show without actually putting active on the close button. So I'm going to take this out. And let's just do this. I'm just going to say active, and then anything that is not a child, but I think we can just do, this. So if any previous sibling has an active class, yeah, that works. I love it. So if I open the navigation first, and then if I also open the search, I need to make sure my search is on top though. Why isn't my search on top? This ended up being a lot easier than I thought it was going to be. Where's my search drawer? Search input, search button, drawer close. Nav drawer. Where's my search drawer? Oh, here it is. Wait a second. Oh, I thought it. Okay. So if my menu is open, there we go. That's what I wanted. And then if you click this, both close at the same time. Yeah, that makes sense to me. I'm going to speed up that drawer. It's the navigation drawer. That delay is really noticeable. It's got less distance to travel. That's why I think it's more noticeable. I mean, you can't animate display block. So I don't know, is it just because it has so much more distance to travel that it's less noticeable? Where's the search drawer? Ease in, out. Ease in, out. You know what? I'm not going to worry about it right now. Yeah, I'm not going to worry about that. I think that works. Wow, that went a lot faster than I thought it was going to. So let's work on this focus trapping that we looked up yesterday. So yesterday, nope, that's not it. So I think it's search form. So we were checking the accessibility of the search form. I had a CSS question. Okay, how do I trap the focus inside of an element like a search drawer? And it gave us this. So add event listeners for the key down event to handle tab key presses. Trap the focus so that if the user reaches the last focusable element and presses tab, focus goes back to the first focusable element. And if they shift tab on the first element, focus goes back to the last element. So you go backwards. And I really wanted to implement this for the search drawer. I'm totally fine if, I think it's okay if, okay, well, we could also put in a skip nav. So if the page is reloaded and we're tabbing, actually, we should flip these. We should flip these because the tab just entered the search. Yeah, and the navigation should come first, and you should have the option to skip the nav. Although if you tab into the search, I mean, that's a normal user experience too, to tab into the search. I don't want to flip them. I like them how they are. And if you tab into the search, it's like 2 tabs and you're back out again. I think I'm okay with that. I don't feel like I need to trap the focus inside the navigation because we're not covering the entire screen. So to me, it feels okay to let it go out of that nav drawer, go through the page, and then come back in. I'm fine with that experience. But if you're here and you're tabbing through, I do think that you need to be trap the focus. And so now this might be the reason why it doesn't work to have one button to close this drawer, because the button is not inside the drawer. So trapping the focus, yeah, so trapping the focus literally traps it without giving you an option to close. Yeah, so we do have to have 2 buttons. I knew that was too good to be true. Okay. Yeah, because if we implement this, where is this ChatGPT? Okay, so we need to make sure that we have a yeah, this relies on its own button to cancel. Wait, cancel or close? Okay, assuming your drawer opens when clicking a button, call this when the drawer is opened. Enable focus trapping when opened. Okay, drawer, document get, okay. Focusable elements. Anything that's inside. So we can edit this list. First element, last element. So what does my markup look like again? Yeah, so each drawer needs to have its own button. So it hasn't told you to create an event listener that fires when you open the drawer. Oh, that's because I already have one in place. So are you talking about what I was just looking at here? I already have the event list. Well, it's down here actually. The event listener to trap the focus to call this function. Is that what you mean? It hasn't told you to create an event listener that fires when you open the drawer. Well, I already have that in place though. I already have an event listener to open the drawer. Oh, I'm just adding an active class to the container to open the drawer, and I'm having my CSS do all the work. So I am opening the drawer just by toggling an active class. That's all I'm doing. I think that's what you mean. Right. Yeah. No, no, no. Yeah, I know. I haven't gotten there. I don't think I've gotten that far yet. I haven't even decided yet if my markup is correct. I think I have to change my markup because I have this one button that closes both drawers. And right now, even if I do have an event listener to know when that drawer is open, which I don't yet, there's nothing to trap. Literally, I have an input and a button that submits. I don't have anything yet. I don't even have anything yet to trap because the close button is outside of the drawer. So I haven't even gotten that far yet. But yeah, I see what you mean. I do see what you mean. So I have to get this back into each of these drawers. So we have to go back to having two buttons, which I didn't really want to have, but I guess I understand why I have to have them. And then put the items you want to trap into an array. Yeah, that makes sense. Bear with me. JavaScript does not come as naturally to me as CSS does. So I do rely a lot on ChatGPT, and I hope that doesn't frustrate you too much. So I appreciate the feedback, though. I really, really do. Okay. You know what? You're right. Let's do this. Let's just ask it a separate question. Actually, let's go back to the other one. Yeah, ChatGPT, I mean, I could do these things. It would take me so much longer to do these things. Like, I could eventually come up with these solutions, but having ChatGPT has made me so much faster. I learn more because I have this extremely patient developer who never gets tired of all of my questions. It does such a good job explaining things. And I have these moments where I'm just like sitting on the couch or laying in bed and I think of something like something in JavaScript or something in Vue, which is what I use a lot at work. And I can just pop open ChatGPT and have a conversation with it about JavaScript if I'm thinking about something. It's amazing. It's not always right. I do find inconsistencies, but for the most part, it does such a good job teaching me how to handle things. Okay, so to trap focus within the search drawer when it's open, you can implement a focus trap using JavaScript. When the search drawer is open, the focus will be cycled within the elements inside the drawer, preventing the user from focusing on elements outside. Okay, so we select all elements within the search drawer that can receive focus. Agreed. Totally agree. This is a true statement. Okay, so does this consider that the close button is outside the search drawer markup? Aha, focusable elements array. See, you have to really read because, what does it say here? To trap focus within the search drawer when it's open, you can implement a focus trap using, and then the focus will be cycled within the elements inside the drawer. So it's like I have to out-stubborn ChatGPT sometimes and be like, no, you didn't listen to the question. Here's the updated JavaScript that accounts for the close button being outside the search drawer. Okay. Function to toggle the active class and trap focus. Oh, I think this is giving me, no, is this giving me everything? It is giving me everything. Okay. All right, and our search has focus right away. No, our focus is not trapped though. Okay. And our navigation. So we had to ask it 3 times to trap the focus for the button that lives outside of the markup. All right, input has focus by default. Button. No, that still doesn't have it yet, does it? Does our navigation work? Yes, navigation works. Oh, wait a second. So I think the focus is trapped inside of the wrong container. The focus was trapped inside. I think the focus was trapped inside of this inner wrap. Okay, so let's close this. Well, our toggles are working, so that's good. Okay, so let's take a look at this focus, because I think we just need to focus trap function. We want convert node list to an array and include the close button outside the drawer. I think we just need to change our array. So we have maybe just input and button. So the only thing that upsets me sometimes about ChatGPT is it will add something you need but haven't asked for. In this case, the escape feature, I like to try and work things out first. This is true. My experience is, so my theory is that it can only give me good data if it's been trained on good data. So I have this vision in my head of ChatGPT scanning the internet and finding all the solutions of all the things that other people have done. Not that it's necessarily smart enough or predictive enough to stay focused on what the question is that I asked, I guess, is the best way I can think of. That's been my experience, is that every time I say, nope, this doesn't work, this is the experience I'm having, or this is what's happening, and it tries to correct it, and it just goes out to like Stack Overflow, and it finds the next thing that somebody tried to solve this problem with, and it gives me the next solution. I mean, it's good. It's very good. ChatGPT has gotten me out of so many sticky situations. It has sped up my workflow, and for the most part it's like 85-90% right on the money. But every once in a while it's like, oh, I didn't ask for that, or I had to ask you 3 times to remember to consider this one thing. So it's an interesting experience, and for any developer who's worried that ChatGPT is going to take their job, it's absolutely not going to, not at this point. I don't see it happening anytime soon. I mean, it's getting better, but we're all safe for now. So it's trapping focused. Let's see here. Up. It is typos. Thank you for that. So it's trapping focus inside the menu items div, which I really don't want. Okay, changes. We are now selecting focusable elements only inside the search drawer using Query Selector All, scoped specifically to the search drawer, preventing focus from being trapped inside unrelated items like menu items div, including the close button. The close button outside the drawer is still included in the focus trap, but only if the search drawer is open. Expected behavior. Search drawer. Clicking the search button opens the search drawer, traps focus within the drawer elements such as input fields and buttons, and the external close button. Navigation drawer, clicking the menu button toggles the navigation drawer as expected, independent of the search drawer. Focus management, focus is strictly trapped within the search drawer elements and the close button, and the user cannot tab to other parts of the page. All right, ChatGPT. I mean, I hate to complain too much about you because you let me ask an unlimited number of questions and you never get annoyed. Never. You always just want to help. We'll get it right together. Nope. Yeah, it's still within. Let's stop there. Yeah, it's going through that navigation before it comes back. There we go. Okay, at least the home is getting focus. It wasn't before. Okay. Console log on the tab event to see where it's going. Yeah, so it is. It's still all just within the. It's all within this. Hang on. Where's our markup? It's all still happening within this menu items div. Um, so Flat Battery is asking if I also do the CSS. I do. So yesterday, well, last weekend and yesterday, we built out the layout and did all the styling and CSS. And today, we're just working on the event listeners to get like add and remove classes basically to do all the functionality. And we get a bit of help from ChatGPT because JavaScript does not come as naturally to me as the CSS does. So let's see how this looks. I'm not going to spend too much more time on this because sometimes done is good enough. And that is the truth. We can refine and make improvements over time. Yeah, I was guessing that R is next to E on the keyboard and it was a typo. Yeah, we're still not quite trapped in the correct container, are we? You know, I honestly don't think it's the end of the world right now because um this can be refined moving forward. The most important thing is that you don't have to go. Probably, you know what I'm probably going to end up doing is I'm going to give each drawer its own button and then it will be trapped. So that's probably what I'm going to do because we have event listeners that do trap focus. So we know this works inside of a container. I think making what is making this more difficult is having that one button, and it's just not a big deal to move it inside of each container. So in fact, let's just do that and see what happens. Let's just do that and see what happens. Everything can be refined, everything can be changed. It's all a process. We need to make sure. Hang on. We need to make sure that. So let's see, it's not going to be a sibling selector, it's going to be, we can just do that. There we go. going to have to do query selector all, and for each through the close buttons. Let's see here. Close button, document query selector all. This I probably can handle. Close button. I think we can just do close for each. I think I'm right. Button. Oh. No, neither of them work. Okay. Oh, hang on. I think I got this wrong. Close button. That's why. Yay! JavaScript is getting slightly easier for me. Okay, so now let's see if the focus is trapped. No, it's still not. Okay, but that's okay because I think we made this easier for ChatGPT. So let's just give it the inner wrap and let it know that there's two buttons. Okay, let's start fresh. There are two close buttons, one in each drawer. Can you help me trap focus with this updated markup? Okay, so it did two separate close buttons. That's fine. Search close button, menu close button. Toggle each drawer, focus trap for each drawer, which I wasn't, no, I don't want to focus trap each drawer. Well, let's just even see if this works. And I don't need the CSS. Okay. There we are. That is what I wanted. I mean, I didn't really plan to trap the focus in the navigation. I don't know if it's necessary because it doesn't cover up the entire page. I really only wanted to do it on the search. Where are we here? Thank you. It's exciting. This is why I do front-end development, because of the instant browser gratification, satisfaction. Hang on though, but what happened to, where's my focus? So it's still going into the search before it gets to the navigation. So I bet it's going to the search close, the search button, the search input, and then back up to this. I'm gonna have to sit with this for like a few days and figure out if this is the right way to do this. I think I might have to switch this around. So yeah, I think I'm gonna have to switch this around. See, this is why you put, I think, your buttons or your navigation first, and this is why you have a skip nav, so you don't have to tab all the way through these things. I mean, that makes sense to me now why you do that. And here's the thing, this Photoshop mockup is old. I've had this in my collection for like 8 years, and I promise you that 8 years ago I was not thinking about accessibility. I mean, if you had asked me, I would have said that I was. I absolutely wasn't, not like I do now. Yeah. So, you know, things like this is why I practice. This is why I decided to start live streaming, and I decided to start pulling out these old mock-ups. It was to practice, because I think about things so much differently than I did, you know, 8, 9, 10, 11 years ago when I first started doing this. So I have to, I'm going to end up changing some of this around. I like how this looks and I'm happy with it, but I have to change some of this, because if you're tabbing, if you're using a screen reader, this doesn't make sense. Yeah, so I'm going to have to sit with this for a couple of days and decide what to do. But I am very happy with what we've done here, because this is exactly what I wanted. Now I just have to decide on the order and get in a skip nav and figure out what I'm going to do with this little arrow, which does nothing and has no point. So I think this is it for me today. Oh, let's see here. A few things I would research if you like, check visibility and defer, which negates the need for DOM content loaded. Check visibility. The check visibility method interface checks whether the element is visible. The method returns false in either of the following situations. Okay. All right, thank you for this. I am going to read up on this. You know, it's nerve-wracking to start live streaming and sort of make yourself vulnerable to other developers who would pop in and see what I'm doing. But honestly, it has been nothing but awesome so far to have more experienced developers pop in and like make suggestions or say, hey, have you thought of this? Or have you considered this? I appreciate it so much, because I really don't have that where I work. I'm the lead, and I have one junior developer. And until I'm really faced with a situation, it's just really nice to be able to commiserate, or not commiserate, but be able to have other developers pop in and see what I'm doing and give me feedback like that. So that's my very long-winded way of saying thank you. I appreciate the tip and the kindness. and yeah, hanging out with me on this Sunday afternoon. Um, so I'm gonna sit with this for until next weekend. I won't be streaming on Saturday next weekend. I will be here on Sunday. The last thing we have to do is we're going to use Isotope to do some filtering. That's the last thing that I want to do here. We'll also go through and tighten up and make sure that everything's looking good. Everything is looking good as far as the responsiveness is concerned, although this is a pretty straightforward design, so I'm not too worried about that. I do always want to make sure that the accessibility is where it should be. I think there are a couple things we could do here responsive wise to improve the layout, but overall I'm not too worried about that. And yeah, I just want to get this filtering done. So we'll do that next weekend on Sunday. Thank you so much for dropping in and hanging out. Abdallah from Egypt is normally here with me. We have another gal, Bailey from Arizona, who likes to drop in as well. Abdallah has a bad internet connection today, so I think he's having a tough time staying online. Agreed. Accessibility is very, very. It's really important in my development process as well. And here's the thing. I think people think that accessibility is just for people who use screen readers, and of course that's important. But the older I get, the more my eyes are starting to fail me, and I feel very empathetic towards people who rely on being able to even just enlarge their text or zoom in on the browser in order to see things. And I think that's only going to get worse as I get older. And I just think accessibility is so important. And I think accessibility could be for people who are aging, people who are disabled. Maybe you broke your arm and you're in a cast, and we just need to make sure that you have a big enough tap target so you can tap that button and not accidentally tap a bunch of other links or something like that. But yeah, I think accessibility is so important. And if you're excluding an entire audience, you're basically excluding an entire market, because where there's an audience, there's a market, and you should be including as many people as possible. Just think of it as a business decision. If you can't get your head around it for any other reason, think of it as a good business decision, but think of it as just being able to include everybody and inviting everybody to enjoy the internet. So I just think it's so important. And the more experience I get, the more I'm thinking, how do I build this so it makes sense if you're tabbing? How do I build this so it makes sense, like we're trapping that focus, so you can close the search drawer without having to tab through elements that you don't even see on the screen. And the more experience I get, the more I'm like, oh, this layout doesn't make sense. This designer didn't consider this, or this designer didn't think of this. And so, your leadership and your designers, they need you. They need you pointing these things out to them. It's really important. Yeah. So thanks a lot. Appreciate having you here. Appreciate having everyone else, having all the people here. Didn't have as many people drop in on the stream this weekend, which is totally fine. I did definitely enjoy the people who did drop in, so thank you so much. Have a great rest of your week and a great rest of your day wherever you are, and I will see everybody next weekend. Take care. Bye-bye.